Hello, my fellow Pilates lovers. It's me, Rachel, coming at you from my home. It is day one of quarantine time for us. It's Wednesday. What is the date today? The 18th. It's March 18th. And I am already going crazy. I don't know about you guys, but I just wanted to make a few videos for those of you at home who are looking for something to do. I think it's really important during this time to keep your bodies moving and to keep the flexibility going and just trying to keep everything working properly, because I would hate for you to lose everything that you've gained over all this time doing Pilates in the studio. We're super sad about having to close the studio, but you know, we have to take the proper precautions and do what is best for the community as a whole. And we want to make sure everyone is happy and healthy, and including all of you and the instructors, and just know that we miss you all. And if you're anything like me, you might be going a little stir crazy over these next 2 or so weeks. So here I am. I'm gonna take you through just a very beginner mat Pilates exercise regimen. I think this is a really good chance for us to kind of go back to basics with mat Pilates and work on alignment, breathing, core stability, pelvic floor, movement with breath, all the kind of stuff that you learn early on, but maybe have forgotten some of it, including myself. I mean, it's very rare that I ever go back to the basics. So let's do that together. I have a yoga mat behind me, and then I actually stole one of my husband's belts, because I find that if you don't have like a Pilates ring, this is much easier to stretch with. If you have like TheraBands or any stretchy exercise bands, those work as well. I just like how this doesn't have any give, so the feedback of the stretch is a little bit better, in my opinion. Totally up to you. I'll show you what I mean once we get into this, but I do suggest a belt if you don't have a Pilates ring, you know, my precious, or if you're looking for something with a little bit more tension than one of your TheraBands. Or you can just use the good old hands. So we'll show you a few things, but anyway, let's get into this. And then I'll have you guys see Hazy at the end, because I know a lot of you would like to see her, and she gets her lunch anyway. So let's get into this. It won't be very long. It's just a nice little way to get moving and to get things flowing, and make sure you drink your water and take your vitamin C. Okay. So please excuse my appearance. My hair is wet, and I just, you know, on any normal basis, I don't give a damn. So just imagine me at home. I did put on yoga pants though. So I'm gonna try to position myself so you can see my full body here. I've never done this before, so bear with me, please. Be nice. I'm no expert at setting up videos, but first I'm gonna lie back, okay? Just make sure you can see my head and my feet, and I'll adjust accordingly if I need to. And you can always put something underneath your head if it's uncomfortable for your head to be flat on the floor. You can slip a little towel underneath. You can roll up like a hand towel and put it underneath your neck. I actually might have to end up doing that, because I've been having some neck issues lately, so we'll see. But I'm taking this belt, okay? I'm gonna hook this belt around my right arch of my foot. And I'm not pulling super hard. For those of you who like to overstretch, be very careful here, okay? You're gonna bring this leg straight up, and you're just gonna kind of pull it in towards you. Now, if you didn't have a belt or anything, all you do is, like in class, is wrap your hands around the back of your leg. Don't pull directly behind the knee, go more behind the thigh, and pull it in towards you here. So you're stretching out your hamstrings, a little bit of that calf. It kind of depends. You can play around with your foot too. You can flex your foot back, you can point your toes. It's a different stretch depending on what you do. I just kind of like to keep it neutral. I also like to keep this opposite leg bent with my foot on the floor. I feel like I get a better stretch here if I do that. Now, once I feel a good stretch, I hold it for about, I don't know, 30 seconds. You don't want to hold it too long, but you still want to get a stretch out of it. So about 30 seconds. Then I'm going to take hold of both ends of my belt here, and I'm going to take that right leg wide and get into my right inner thigh. I'm allowing my left leg to my left knee, bent knee, to kind of open up a little bit. Now you can stretch here, but I'm not getting much out of that. What I get the stretch out of is if I lift my leg up a little bit and pull it in towards my right shoulder a little bit more. Nothing's lifting off of the floor. Everything is nice and steady. We're focusing on that inner thigh stretch. So don't be afraid to play around with it a little bit. It's not like there's any right or wrong way. You just want to feel the stretch, you know what I mean? And then I'm going to take this left bent leg, I'm going to flatten it out to my mat. I'm going to bring this right leg up and over. I'm going to hold onto my belt with my left hand now. So here's a thing that I notice a lot of people doing even in class, and it's not necessarily wrong, but it's not really getting the stretch that I would like you to feel. Now, I see a lot of people bring this butt cheek up and off the floor and really twist, which is fine. You're getting a stretch all the way up through the glutes and all the way to the lower back. However, I would like you guys to focus on keeping your right butt cheek on the floor here, bum cheek, butt cheek, I'm sorry, whatever you prefer, on the floor. And it's not like you're crossing this huge midline. You're crossing your midline just slightly. You can hold on with both hands if you want, and you're tugging more in towards your left shoulder, and you should feel this whole band all the way down the side of your leg and up into your glute, even along the side of the knee. That's what I want you to feel. Now, if that's just not getting it for you, you can twist into it a little bit more, but I don't want the twist to be super duper duper excessive, okay? So just, again, play around with it, give it little tugs, listen to your body. If it's super duper painful, let up on it a little bit. You don't have to make this, a crazy stretch. You don't have to be able to kick yourself in the head, okay? Let's just put it that way. Okay, then I'm going to quickly stretch the other side. I'll zoom through this. So we're done there. I'm going to place this guy to the side. Remember, you can use your hands. You can use your ring if you have one. You can use a TheraBand. Whatever you have, just use it. You don't need to do anything. You don't have to have any real equipment to do this kind of stuff, We're going to take you through, I'm going to take you through a really basic, just alignment, breathing, core engaging series here. And then my plan is to maybe every day kind of add on to it a little bit. We'll see what we decide to do between you and me. I kind of just want to do what's right for everyone, okay? So I'm gonna bend my knees, bring my feet flat onto my mat here. And I'm a little off level because I have my rug underneath me. So I might need to scooch back or forward a little bit because I'd like your feet on the same flat surface, okay? So here, we're gonna roll our shoulders back and down. Now, we're gonna go over neutral spine here. Neutral spine is something that I feel like we all struggle with because none of us really maintain the perfect neutral spine. We're not perfect. Everyone's neutral is different. But I feel like it's really good to go over this every so often, and us being stuck at home is a really good chance to go over it for us. So neutral spine is taking the natural curvature of your spine and building your core around that. So it translates a little bit better into day-to-day life, if that makes sense. So imagine your spine, go look up a picture of your spine. You have this curve, okay? What I find though, or what I find, because I see most of the new clients that come into the studio, is we have these habitual patterns. So if you're someone like me, I used to really sway my back. I'd stick my butt out, I'd stick my ribs out, and I'd have this really excessive arch through my back, okay? Now, if you aren't like that, you might really like to tuck your butt under, okay? So that just creates this like flat effect of your spine. And what we're trying to achieve is something in between the two, okay? So we're gonna go into what's called pelvic tilting. Now you can pelvic tilt like a clock, counterclock, clockwise, and that's good too. That loosens up the hips and the pelvis and hip flexors and lower back and all that kind of stuff. But I just want you to pelvic tilt towards noon and 6 o'clock, okay? So you're gonna stamp your back down into your mat. You're gonna flatten it out like you would be a butt tucker, okay? Be a butt tucker here, flatten your back out. Then be a sway back. Keep your butt heavy and rock your pelvis towards 6 o'clock. So you're really arching through here. You have a big old anthill, huge anthill, okay? And then you're gonna flatten your anthill out. So I like to tell people to bring their hands to their pelvis, their hips, so you can feel the pelvis doing the work and not just from here, okay? So pelvis is rocking to 6 o'clock and 12 o'clock, okay? Just go back and forth here. This is also a really good lower back stretch. It feels good. If you're feeling tightness through there from sitting on the couch and eating chocolates and watching Netflix, get down and do this. I think I'm so funny. Okay, so after you've done a few of those rocks, those pelvic tilts, find your in-between area. So there's no excessive arching, and there's no excessive arching, but there is a little bit of space, okay, where that natural curvature of your spine is. What you want to look for here, get up in front of a mirror and do this, or lay down in front of a mirror and do this, I mean, so you can watch yourself. Now, I don't have a mirror. I wish I did, because I'm probably not in the best positioning here. But if I had a mirror in front of me, what I would do is I would look at myself in the mirror. And I can look up here and kind of see it. And looking at my pelvis, I'm going to take a triangle with my hands, okay? I'm going to lay it on top of my pelvis here. Now I'm going to imagine a marble at the center of my triangle. Is it rolling towards 6 o'clock? Well, if it is, you need to bring it back a little bit to the center. Is it rolling towards 12 o'clock? If it is, you need to relax that back a little bit. I don't want you pivoting towards 6 or towards noon. It's a nice flat area right there. Keep your marble right there the entire time, okay? Now that we're going into the next series, the breathing series, I want that marble to stay put, okay? All right, let's move on. So you're in your neutral. Your pelvis is nice and stable and flat. You can keep your, you're gonna keep it in this neutral spine, okay? Bring your hands now to your belly. We're gonna take it into belly breathing. Take a deep inhale. Fill your belly up with air. Fill your hands up with air. And exhale. Deep inhale through your belly. And exhale. Keep that belly breath going. Don't shift your neutral spine. You're maintaining neutral this entire time. And I already felt myself going into a little bit of a sway back. So I'm going to readjust and take it back into my breathing. Your breathing doesn't have to be loud, but if you want it to be, if it feels better to do that, go ahead. You're at home, you do whatever you want. Now hold your belly down, okay? Maintaining neutral, your belly stays down. I want you to now bring your hands up to your ribs, sides of your ribs, okay? And I don't want this to creep up into your neck, so just try to keep your head relaxed, neck relaxed. Again, if you need a little bit of support underneath your head or neck, put a little bit of a towel underneath there. So still in neutral, your belly's now down, hands are on your ribs. Deep inhale, fill your ribs up with air. And exhale. Deep inhale through your ribs, filling your hands up with air. And exhale. Now we breathe through our ribs in Pilates here because it helps us engage core muscles that we typically don't engage on a day-to-day basis, if that makes sense. We're not working the superficial part of our muscles here. We want to work really, 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 really deep up against the bone. So imagine here that you're taking a deep inhale, filling your ribs up with air. Start to exhale, pull your ribs in and down. It's nothing excessive. You're not really pushing or pulling or anything like that, but just imagine your ribs gliding in and down. And that helps you activate your core while maintaining neutral. I see this a lot. You take a deep inhale through your ribs, you exhale, you try to plug in, and you plant your back down into your mat because you want it to come from your glutes. Relax through there. You're still maintaining neutral. It's a really, really, really deep sensation, okay? So your hands are on your ribs, deep inhale, exhale, pull your ribs in and down, kind of underneath your belly button, okay? And just practice that. I want you to really practice these little movements because it's going to help your Pilates just all around with everything that you do, whether it's mat Pilates, reformer Pilates, on the Cadillac, on the chair, it's going to help. So deep inhale through your ribs. And sometimes I do like to keep one hand on my belly, one hand on my ribs. If that helps you, go ahead and do so. Deep inhale through your ribs, exhale, pull it in and down. Now we can't talk about the core without the pelvic floor, okay? So you're still maintaining neutral. You're breathing through your ribs, exhaling in and down, plugging into your core. Now we can't leave that pelvic floor out, so it just depends on how you want to think about it. You can zip it up to your head, you can suck it up to your head. It's middle of December, freezing cold, we go and jump into the lake. What happens automatically for men and women? You suck it up. Or holding your pee midstream. That's a good indicator of what that pelvic floor feels like, okay? So it's this core engagement, it's this pelvic floor engagement. Everything's kind of pulling together below the belly button. That rib breath helps you get there, okay? Still maintaining neutral that whole time. That's what's hard about it, okay? So let's just focus on the breathing here, core and pelvic floor. So maintaining that neutral spine, take a deep inhale, fill your ribs up with air. Exhale, plug in deep, sucking up, pulling in below your belly button. And you should feel that core kick in nice and tight. So do a few there. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. 2 more. Last time. Ooh, I really felt it on that last one. Good. So I think that's a good place to start. I think if we can all focus on the neutral spine, core, pelvic floor engagement to start with, maybe that will be like our precursor to everything. That's the very, This is my assistant, Hazy. Come here. She's only 6 months, so she's still crazy, but she weighs 52 pounds. 52 pounds. Hey, come here. This is what my life at home is like, everyone. I don't have any kids, so I don't know how you guys do it, but this one is crazy. Call her Crazy Casey. Okay. All right. Yeah. Bless you. She just had lunch. She's been playing outside. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. No more. No more. Oh, okay. So anyway, let's focus on those basics, and then I will add to it each day. Let's just keep moving, everyone. All right? Have fun from my baby to yours. I have to force her to love me. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Bye, everyone. Stay healthy. Stay safe.